Holder and Ron Jones. I'm John Barr. Thanks for tuning in. Archbishop Molloy in the home whites with the navy blue trims. Nazareth in the road maroons with white trims. This is a rematch between the schools from December 12th, the game which Nazareth won 66-55, and right off the opening tip, counted and won for Jen Fay, the senior, heading to Quinnipiac. It has taken Nazareth just 3 seconds to take the 2-0 lead.
One more shot for Jennifer Fay.
So the senior Fay, averaging 11 points per game, gives Nazareth the early 3-0 lead. And now Caitlin Mann on the drive, and she gets fouled from behind. Well, in talking with Steve Lagis, head coach of Archbishop Molloy, he told me that he thinks his team is a lot different now than they were back on the 12th of December when the two squads first met up. They've gained a lot of experience since then. And it's a squad that lost 9 players from last year's State Federation semifinals. Mann connects on 1 of 2 free throws, 3-1 lead for Nazareth. So the improvement has been evident for Molloy each and every game. The record is 10-10, but Steve Lagis told me that they have one of the toughest schedules in America, and his record is not indicative of how his team's been doing. Fay for 3. Nice save for Brittany Jackson on the end line. Cuevas, mile-long 3, another end line save by Roma. And now Mann pushing up court. McClure underneath for Duryea. She gets fouled. These are both two teams that really could push the ball up the court. A lot of speed either way. That foul on Jen Fay, her first personal. So Duryea, the junior, one of the best defenders in the league. She sinks the first. And her job tonight, at least early on, is going to be to try to neutralize Bianca Cuevas. And easier said than done. Duryea sinks both. We're tied up at 3, 45 seconds in. The Lady Kingsmen were ranked 4th in the Tri-State last week as Brown's runner's too strong. Ripped away by Peckham. And now on the run out, Irizarry. Molloy running their half-court set. Peckham in the low post gets her shot rejected by Sophia Roma, the senior, heading to Wagner College. Nice pass underneath for Brittany Jackson, who converts. Good touch by Nazareth. They lead 5-3 as Bianca Cuevas flies into her own bench. The athlete Cuevas, always hustling. Nazareth in the man D. Peckham down low. Count it and 1. Emily Peckham tying up the game for the Stanners. Nice high-low movement for Molloy. And that's Shakleisha Brown's first personal, 3rd-team foul on Nazareth early on. Peckham can't convert the 3-point play, and we are drawn 5. Well, Bianca Cuevas operating, 3-year starter, recently named a McDonald's All-American. Fay on the block, turnaround. Out of bounds, last touched by Nazareth. And to keep in mind Bianca Cuevas' accomplishment, becoming a McDonald's All-American, there are just 24 of them in the entire country. It's pretty much the best individual accomplishment you can really get as a high school player. Man, nice feed underneath for McClure. Here's Irizarry off glass and good. Welcome to the game, Naisha Irizarry heading to Manhattan, and Molloy has their first lead of the night. Jackson lobs it down low for Roma, and she travels. Little momentum for the Stanners. And there's been momentum the last couple of games for Archbishop Molloy. Beat Mary Lewis on Saturday by 18. beaten Moore Catholic the game before that, and Aaron McClure finishing the baseline drive. 6-0 run for the Stanners. They lead 9-5. Fay up top for Brown, as Nazareth will reset. The Lady Kingsmen coming off a tough loss. And another turnover for Nazareth as Brown walked. The Lady Kingsmen have lost just 2 games in conference the entire year. They dropped the game to Christ the King last week, 64-59. Irizarry to the tin, rejected, but a foul on Sophia Roma. So you have to think that Nazareth is going to be very hungry for a victory tonight after losing a tough one against Christ the King. And that's a game where Bianca Cuevas had 25 points but was plagued with foul trouble. Irizarry sinks the first free throw, giving Molloy a 10-5 lead. 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Second free throw too strong. Brown up the floor for Jackson. And over to the general, Cuevas. No look pass. Roma stays with it. Fay for Roma. He throws it away. Third turnover in a row for Nazareth. Up the floor. Lady Kingsmen with their first sub, Yasmin Belk, checks in for Sophia Roma. Belk heading to Virginia Commonwealth University. With the Lady Kingsmen playing a zone trap right now, trying to force something against Molloy. And McClure almost called for 5 seconds as head coach had to call a timeout. So 4 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Molloy 10, Nazareth 5. Timeout called by Scott Lagis, realizing his team was about to be assessed a 5-second violation. Man to McClure. Off glass, good. McClure's gotten a lot of Division I interest already. The junior has given Molloy a 12-5 lead, 4:12 to play first quarter. Cuevas on the drive and showing off why she's an All-American. The athleticism unreal for her. Irizarry the other way. And that broke a 9-0 run for the Stanners. Irizarry no-look pass for Derrier, wide open 3. Nice effort by Jen Fay, but that will stay with Molloy. 12-7 lead for the home team, Archbishop Molloy. We're in Briarwood, Queens. Man, the inbounds, and that is ripped away by Shakleisha Brown. Senior with a good defensive play. Jackson, the junior, driving baseline. Cuevas wide open. She does not miss many three-point shots. Scott Lagis said he hardly ever sees her miss. That a three-pointer for Bianca Cuevas is like a layup for most players. And, that's something that Molloy is really going to have to try to do today, is keep her away from taking those open looks. Force her to drive against some pressure. Cuevas for Jackson. Brown. 3-ball Fay. Rebounded by Peckham, the sophomore. 6 foot tall, her first year on varsity, having a tremendous season. Peckham, in and out. Batted to Derrier. And now Molloy will reset. Leading 12-7, 2:40 remaining in the first quarter. McClure, baseline drive. Open to look for man, rattles home. The lead is 7 for Molloy. Nazareth trying to battle back in this first quarter. Turnovers and fouls have plagued them. Cuevas showing off the footwork off glass. No good. Molloy with an opportunity to stretch this 7-point lead. Duryea dribbles it off of her foot. We get a battle jump ball arrow to stay with Molloy. And a timeout triggered by Ron Kelly, second-year head coach for Nazareth. 2:05 to play, quarter number 1, Molloy 14, Nazareth 7. Molloy basketball off of the Nazareth timeout. A lot of pressure from the Lady Kingsmen on the inbounds. McClure for 3. Rebounded by Faye. Irizarry rips it away at midcourt on the drive. They'll kick it around the horn. And a reach in on Bianca Cuevas. Well, it's only Cuevas' first personal. She really had foul trouble in the last game against Christ the King. She had 4 fouls early on in the fourth quarter, and that certainly affected them. But the bigger issue right now for Nazareth, 5 team fouls, and we haven't even played 1 quarter. Nia Johnson checking into the game for the first time for the senior Jen Fay. Man operating for Molloy. Step back 3. Both teams trying to get that long-range touch going. Nobody has sank one yet. Brown spots up. Running rebound for Shalix Hines. Another opportunity for Nazareth. Brown stood up at the baseline by man. Good man-to-man defense for Molloy. In the low post, little jump stop for Belk. And they're going to call a jump ball with the arrow going to Molloy. The Molloy defense has been up to the task in this first quarter. Nazareth possession, Hines, catch and shoot J for Bianca Cuevas off the inbounds, and she's got 4. 5-point lead for Molloy. 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Man knifes the lane and connects. Just her first year on varsity, but Caitlin Mann averaging 5 assists per game. She's leading Molloy with 5 points right now. Johnson drives up top, Belk rattles out. McClure the rebound. Swift passing Irizarry for 3. Off the heel. Batted into the front court, and Hines almost runs it down. Last touched by a Molloy player. Good hustle for both squads so far. Nazareth trying to cut into this lead with just 26 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Cuevas, the All-American, dribbles it off of her foot. Duryea pounces on it. And a loose ball foul on Cuevas, her second.
Fouls on number 1 as Bianca Cuevas.
Well, Scott Liga said that Sarah Duryea would be the one to guard Cuevas, one of the best defenders in the league. Talk about a tough assignment. And you've got Cuevas. She's one of the best guards to come out of the Catholic League in a long time. Hines with a steal, ahead for Cuevas, spinning to the lane and dribbles it off of her foot. Just 6.8 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Of course, Sierra Calhoun out of Christ the King. Who can forget about her? 2 amazing players this year in the Catholic League. 6 seconds left in the first quarter. Molloy up 16-9. Irizarry puts up a shot at the buzzer. Does it go? And that'll do it for quarter number 1. Archbishop